Emma buys some coffee beans from her ex-boyfriend and brings them for Kate and Ginny to try. She opens up about how, back when she first started her luxury sales job, she was so focused on material things that she broke up with him because he couldn't buy her the expensive items she wanted. While she regrets being so shallow back then, she also feels it worked out because now she's with Kevin. Kate shares that she has to give her all to running the tea factory and will need to spend a lot of time in the remote village to manage it. That night, Dave helps Pete plan a romantic evening for Ginny, but it ends up being awkward. Ginny tells Pete that some things can't be forced and that they're just not meant to stay married. The next day, Pete tries to get Ginny to talk to him by purposely making things difficult around the house. He tightens the lids on all the jars and raises the coat racks so high that she has to ask him for help. It turns out all of these tricks were Dave's mischievous ideas. At the gym, a strange woman strikes up a conversation with Emma, commenting on how the yearly membership is expensive and mentioning they have a branch in Hong Kong. Emma explains that her boyfriend paid for her membership, and she didn't realize how costly it was. The woman gives her a strange look. Emma uses the fact that the gym has a Hong Kong branch to bring up the idea of moving there with Kevin again. But Kevin dismisses it, saying she should stay in Shanghai. Emma finds it odd that Kevin has taken her everywhere except Hong Kong, where he's based. Meanwhile, Kate becomes more passionate about running the tea factory, despite the challenges. At first, she's nervous about being alone in the village, but over time, she starts to feel the warmth and support of the villagers, who grow to care for her. While Kate is busy running the tea factory, James is at home frequently watching and liking Anna's stories on social media. Despite saying he would cut off contact, the woman Emma met at the gym visits Miss Hill and asks Emma to be her sales assistant. At first, Emma is very enthusiastic, but the woman keeps trying on many outfits without liking any of them. Emma starts feeling uncomfortable and exhausted from having to clean up the clothes the woman rejected in the fitting room, spending hours without making a single sale. Finally, a kind colleague of Emma offers to take over for her. Only then does the woman randomly choose a tie to buy. Meanwhile, Ginny visits her parents' house and finds Pete already there. He's trying to win over her parents by buying gifts and cooking for them. Ginny feels irritated but has to play along with Pete, pretending to be a happy couple in front of her parents. As Ginny and Pete drive home, Ginny confronts Pete, saying she knows what he's up to. Pete assumes she finally understands his feelings, but Ginny actually believes Pete regrets offering to split the house with her and is trying to win her over so she'll change her mind. Pete gets furious at the ridiculous assumption, and they start arguing again. Kate is struggling to find investors for her tea factory. Everyone rejects her, claiming the market is too saturated, and a small factory like hers has no future. Jack, meanwhile, takes Ginny to register for driving lessons as a belated birthday gift. He promises to help her pass, and Ginny, touched by his thoughtfulness, decides to start learning. After being turned down repeatedly, Kate wants to give up and close the tea factory. However, the village leader calls her, encouraging her to try again. Kate goes back to talk to the investor one more time. She explains that after staying in the village for half a month, she has witnessed the villagers' simple, honest way of life. The tea they produce is entirely handmade, unlike industrial products. Kate also shares her startup journey, her debt, and her desire to provide jobs and security for the villagers and their children. The investor offers to buy her project outright, but Kate refuses, saying she only trusts herself to see it through and walks away. The investor, however, follows her and invites her back into his office. He tells her to close the tea factory and offers her a job at his company instead. Kate returns home, exhausted and disappointed, sharing the experience with James. She tells him how disheartening the meeting was but also realizes that the tea factory and the village are precious gems she should continue to nurture. Just then, the investor calls and informs her that they've decided to invest in her project. Kate is overjoyed. At Miss Hill, the strange woman from the gym returns and continues to torment Emma. She becomes more and more unreasonable, and Emma patiently endures it. But the final straw comes when the woman makes a snide remark, asking if Emma is so good at pleasing men because she works in customer service. Insulted, Emma finally snaps and prepares to walk away. The strange woman finally selects a tie, claiming she's buying it for her husband, and hands Emma her credit card for payment. Emma is shocked when she sees Kevin's name on the card. The woman then reveals that she and Kevin got engaged 7 years ago. Though Kevin doesn't believe in marriage, everyone in Hong Kong considers them as good as married. She threatens Emma, warning her to back off from Kevin if she wants to keep her job. Emma is completely devastated by this revelation. Distraught, Emma goes to Kate for advice. Kate advises her to stay calm and not believe the woman's words right away. She suggests Emma message Kevin and ask him to come see her in person. When Kevin makes an excuse, saying he's too busy to come, Emma starts believing what the woman told her. She feels heartbroken, realizing that everything Kevin had said and done for her might have been a lie. As if things couldn't get worse, Emma faces trouble at work. A customer demands to buy a display handbag that Emma, distracted by her relationship troubles, forgot to put up the display-only sign. When she tells the customer that the bag is not for sale, the woman makes a huge scene. In the end, the store has no choice but to sell the rare handbag. Stacy takes this opportunity to scold Emma and reports her to headquarters for losing one of the store's most valuable items. Emma finally confronts Kevin about the situation. He admits that what the woman, Bella, said was true, but he also confesses that he has fallen in love with Emma and only her. Kevin promises to end things with Bella so he can fully be with Emma. Meanwhile, Kate finds an ice cream receipt in James' jacket pocket and casually asks him about it. James explains that a park employee in Beijing bought him ice cream to try, but he doesn't mention that it was Anna. Although James tries to brush it off, Kate jokes that she thought he went on a date with someone. At this point, Dave steps in to cover for James, suggesting that maybe the employee expected James to pay them back for the ice cream. However, even Dave starts to feel that something seems off with James. Later, Kate finds a keychain that Anna gave James in his office drawer. When James walks in, he acts clueless and says he bought it for Henry. But his awkwardness raises Kate's suspicions. She confiscates the keychain, sensing something isn't right with his behavior. Kate talks to Dave and asks him to keep an eye on James' personal schedule and report back to her. Pete frequently bumps into Jack when he drops Ginny off, making things awkward for all three. At home, Pete gets angry with Ginny and accuses her of being too easygoing. At the office, Jack is upset because Ginny refuses to acknowledge their closeness and lies to Pete, telling him that Jack only drops her off because it's on the way, even though that isn't true. That afternoon, Jack surprises Ginny by taking her on a hot air balloon ride. While up in the air, Jack confesses his feelings for her. Ginny tries to reject him because she's 6 years older, but Jack passionately insists that his feelings are real. That night, when Ginny returns home, Pete is still in a sour mood. Frustrated, Ginny goes to the riverside to talk with Emma, who is also dealing with heartbreak. Although Kevin says he only loves Emma, she loses trust in what he says. Meanwhile, Ginny also has feelings for Jack but hesitates because she fears another heartbreak. Due to a serious mistake during editing, Pete gets suspended and transferred away from the central television station. Concerned about the flu spreading, Kate cleans the house carefully and reminds everyone to stay safe. At that moment, she sees James reading something on his phone and smiling, which causes her heart to skip a beat. James realizes he's been caught but quickly pretends nothing is wrong. It turns out he is still texting Anna, and he hurriedly deletes the conversation. That night, Kate checks James' phone but, of course, doesn't find anything suspicious. Emma invites Kate and Ginny to her ex-boyfriend Alex's cafe to catch up. Although Kevin promises Emma he will deal with Bella, he keeps delaying and tells her to be patient. Feeling manipulated, Emma decides to block his number. Kate shares her suspicions about James, but the other two dismiss her concerns, believing she is overthinking things since James is clearly a devoted husband and father. Bella shows up again at Miss Hill, and Emma refuses to serve her. However, Bella doesn't give up and creates a scene in the store, end up slapping Emma. Embarrassed, Emma considers quitting her job, but her manager advises her to take a break and think carefully. She has worked hard for many years, and personal issues shouldn't make her give up her career. A representative team from Beijing Park comes to meet James to thank him for the fireworks show and decides to sign more contracts with the company. Anna is also in the group. Ginny learns about the bad news regarding Pete's job. After being transferred, he shows no interest in working anymore. Although Ginny is still angry, she comforts him, urging him to be strong. That night, James takes Anna out to dinner to thank her, but he tells her not to contact him anymore. He apologizes if he has done anything inappropriate that could be misunderstood. He insists that he only has responsibilities toward his wife. However, Anna cleverly asks him if those words are meant for her or for himself. Taking advantage of the situation, Anna plays mind games, suggesting that James must live according to what his wife wants and suppress his true self.